started with our assistant head coach and offensive line coach and run game coordinator and all the titles for Brett Key.
O-line coach, depending on the day of the week.
We'll go ahead and open right up for questions for Coach Key.
Brandon, just curious, you've rolled kind of a different group every day.
Yeah.
What did you learn by doing that? Do you feel like you're getting closer to a 5 that you want to roll with?
Yeah, this year with us having a little more depth, we're lucky to be in that situation that we can do that. And it's not always rolling guys to see who's going to be that first 5 guys out there or what position they're going to be in. A lot of times it's within practice trying to see who plays well next to each other, and then also getting guys experience playing next to each other. So if a guy might be rolling with the second group one day, maybe it's because who's playing next to him in that grouping that day that I'm trying to get banked reps and of them getting used to that guy to the right and the left of them. So it's kind of a twofold situation there with getting with rolling guys. And hopefully we're to the point now where we can create some depth and some true play in depth where you get into the season and you have an opportunity to play 6, 7, 8 guys out there on the field. Well, it's not the first time they've played next to each other. If they once they get in the game and they're playing next to the center, and they've got different chances and opportunities throughout all preseason camp doing that.
Bryce?
Coach, some guys talked last week about the ability for you to break down form after a play. This is why we do what we do. What kind of importance is that going forward of understanding that in their sense?
Yeah, it's the old adage that goes, not just know what to do, but how to do it and why you're doing it. And I think we've gotten to the point now where we're understanding what to do much better than we have in the past. Understanding the schemes in protection, understanding the run schemes, what we're doing, but then really the how to do it, the fundamental aspects of it, the fundamental techniques. And then why we're doing it. Why are we, thicker on this block as opposed to thinner based on where the linebackers align, based on where the running back's alignment is, where the quarterback's setup in the pocket is, all those things. So, really, if you can get to understand those 3 facets of O-line play, I think that's where you become a complete offensive lineman.
Ken?
Of your tackles, Jordan coming back, but then also it looks like Wing and Corey and Ja'Kai are getting a lot of reps. Can you compare the 3?
Well, obviously the comparison with Jordan is a little different because Jordan has a lot of game experience. But then trying to make Jordan a more complete player, learning both sides of the line, right side and left side, and he'll continue to do that. Having Corey come in has been a really pleasant surprise. He's done really well, picking up the offense early, which has allowed him then to really hone in on his fundamentals and his techniques, and become a more complete offensive lineman at a young age and new to the program. And then Ja'Kai and Wing have both been here. Excuse me. Wing going into his 3rd year now, it's time for him to step up and be a guy.
Okay. Our 2 student athletes today, we've got Weston Franklin and Pierce Quick. We'll start with Weston. We'll open right for questions for him. Kelly?
It's obviously a different approach for you. We've talked about that. But just what's it been like to be sort of the center and the leader of the offense in that way as still you're a young guy, just your 2nd year here?
Yeah, it's been different for me for sure. I'm trying to work on being more of a vocal leader. Like I said in the past, that wasn't really what I was known for. I was more the quiet guy, lead by example, but I'm really working on being more of a vocal leader and helping those guys behind me.
Ken?
Can you describe a little bit, I guess, I imagine how you felt last season in the spring compared to now? There must be a level of comfort and kind of assuredness about what you're doing. Has there been that sort of development of not making the same mistakes or having the same kind of confusion that you had previously?
Well, for sure. Playing last year towards the end of the season, that really helped me a lot. Gave me a lot of confidence. I knew going in that I was going to make mistakes, and I really needed those mistakes to help me become a better player. And that's really gave me a lot of confidence coming into this season, and I think we're going to have a really good group and I'm ready to go.
Bryce?
Coach talked about defense giving you a lot of different looks here early on in practice. Talk about the level of communication. Where's that at right now with you guys on that line?
We're at a great level of communication. We communicate every single play, and everybody sees everything that's going on in the defense. They are giving us a lot of different looks and a lot of different variations of different stuff, and we all got to communicate it very well. Or if we don't get the play executed. So it's a really big challenge, but we accept it and we make it work.
Kelly?
You guys have, last year was very much sort of a static group, like this is the one group and the 2 group. Mm-hmm. You've had different guys around you every day at the guard spots. What's that been like, and does that improve communication, chemistry? Like, how does How does that work, I guess, at the center position for you when you might have Joe or Pierce or Paul or whoever next to you at a different day?
It really doesn't affect me. I expect those guys, that's whatever group's in there, to execute at a high level. I mean, everybody's doing a great job. We're really rolling in a bunch of different guys into different groups, trying to get everybody to work together, because you never know what's going to happen in the game. Anybody can get hurt, anybody can lose a helmet or anything like that, and the guys got to pop in and play, and that's what we're really working on.
How are you trying to help Brandon learn to play center?
He's a really smart kid. He knows a lot of football. He's very smart. He's getting a little bit of a technique stuff down, helping with a lot of technique. I'm working on it as myself. I'm trying to get better every single day at it and trying to help him along the way.
Anything else for Weston? Ken?
I asked Coach the answer he gave about 100%. He said that I was asking like just his level of confidence in you guys. And obviously, there's a lot of questions losing, the starters he did and being relatively inexperienced. Kind of what's your kind of approach or mindset about you guys as a group going into the season?
I have 100% confidence in the guys beside me and behind me. We're ready to get to the season and just go to work. We're ready for it.
All right. Weston, thanks, bud.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Have the real one too, so we'll talk about that later. All right, last but not least, we have Pierce Quick. We'll go ahead and open it right for questions for Pierce. Kelly?
When we talked, I guess it was last week, you were saying that you're just kind of working at both guard spots. Do you feel like you're starting to find a role there, or is that still the plan to play both left and right?
I think it's still the plan to play both left and right. I've been working both throughout camp still, and so I want to know both too, so for any situation I could fill in and play it no matter what happens.
Ken? Oh, go ahead, Bryce. Bryce, go ahead.
Talking about playing both positions, what do you see the value in that? Obviously, next level, being able to play so many different positions along the offensive line, is that something you want to pride yourself on?
Yeah, definitely. Like, even though I most likely, won't have to play center while I'm here, I still want to keep snapping and stuff like that for the next level and be able to, just in case something were to happen. And even playing both guards helps out. I like to see myself as a person that can go in anywhere as needed and knows the whole offense.
Now, Ken?
Chris, in coming from Alabama, what things have you noticed about, I guess, the culture of this team and kind of what sticks out to you?
Like the number one thing, the culture here is I've been trying to implement the fact of going into every game knowing that we can win. I feel like one of the number one things is, when you guys said have that confidence that we know we can beat every opponent out there no matter who it is. Whereas at Alabama, we had that culture of every game we went into it. There wasn't if we were going to win, it was we are going to win.
Kelly?
With just the playing load and the expectations for yourself and all that coming in, how do you feel like you're progressing? Where do you feel like you're at in terms of kind of understanding the guard spot and where it fits in, where you fit in the offense and that kind of stuff?
Yes, sir. The good thing was coming in here, this offensive scheme is pretty similar to what I ran, so that made it really easy to catch on to the scheme and all that stuff. And I feel like even just from day one of camp, I've progressed a lot. And Coach Key has definitely helped me out a lot, teaching me a lot, mostly footwork and stuff like that, and trying to get that down.
Bryce?
Talked with Coach Key earlier. He talked about you guys he had that confidence, like Ken said. Where do you see it from the player's perspective? I mean, you guys seem to gel. Obviously, had the transfers come in. Now you've kind of week under your belt. Still kind of moving that way.
Yes, sir. I definitely think every day we're getting closer and closer. And honestly, as an offensive line group and even as an offense as a whole, we're a pretty close group that even off the field we're hanging out together and stuff like that. And I think that helps out a ton on the field to have that chemistry. No matter, with us rotating a bunch of guys, no matter who you're playing next to, you still feel comfortable next to that guy and confident next to him.
So you have Paul and Paula. What do you guys call it? Do you use last names? Because
So-
I imagine that's a little confusing, or nicknames.
Honestly, the whole time I've been here, surprisingly, I don't know if it's gotten messed up yet. I guess we kind of emphasize the A and Paula, and then you just got Paul.
Anything else for Pierce? I was just had you.
How would you describe the personality of the group, and then also, is there a leader that is kind of that is the head guy there? Would you say?
Oh, you mean for the offense or offensive line? Okay, for the offensive line, yeah, I would say honestly, coming in here from day one, Jordan Williams has been a really good leader for us, and this is his third year starting, and so that's a really big deal. You know, starting 3 years of college football is not an easy thing to do. And so to come in here and have him, and even from when I came on an official here, he was my host, and I could just tell from day one that he was doing that. And also Weston has spoken up a lot, even come from spring to now. Like Weston's became way more vocal and stuff like that, and I can tell he's been working on it.
Anything else for Pierce?